Hey y'all, it's Jessica from Sloppy Swatches. Today I have a fairly belated look at the Splash collection from Zoya for spring 2020. I did a poll over on Instagram and you guys did say that you wanted to see these even though I've sat on them for a minute, so I am going to go ahead and publish these. I will have the winter 2020 collection up really soon, so stay tuned for that. So I'm going to jump straight in with Jody, and this is a very pale pink cream polish. This one applies beautifully. If you have, I believe it's Rue, that's a little bit softer. You may not need this one, however, the formula is amazing. I'm going to go ahead and show you how it's swatched today for me on my natural nail. So here's a look at that first easy coat. With careful application, I definitely think that this could be a one coater. It has maybe some slight streakiness to it, but I did go in a little bit thicker here with that first coat. The only thing is that I did not get close enough to that sidewall. It's so hard to see that angle when I'm filming. So I did go ahead and opt to go in for a quick second coat just to even everything out. This one does dry down nice and glossy. So here is a look at that completed mani at 2 coats before a glossy top coat underneath my artificial lighting. Very flattering on my skin tone. And then this is my final swatch photo of Jody at an angle under my artificial lighting. So next up I have Emma, and this is a very sweet coral shade. I think it leans a little bit more orange than it does pink. Very beautiful. Of course, it would have been perfect for spring and summer, but I am for bright nails all the time. So here's a look at how it's swatched today for me on my natural nail. This one has a little bit of a jelly feel for a cream. However, it does go on super smooth, real easy, and almost completely opaque in just one easy coat. I did kind of overwork it there a little bit, so I had some streaking. I'm going to go ahead and complete this look with a quick second coat. 2 coats, it does make for a very nice finish. Again, it does dry down super glossy. This was another one that was really flattering for me. It kind of tones down the red tints in my skin and made me feel just very bright. So here's a look at that completed mani at 2 coats before a glossy top coat underneath my artificial ring lighting. Like, I would wear this on my toes all year round, I think. And then this is my final swatch photo of Emma underneath my artificial ring lighting. Next up, we're going to get into some of the shimmers, and this is where I think this collection really stands out. So this first one is LEILANI, and she is a bright pink with a gold speck finish. So I'm going to go ahead and show you how this swatched today for me on my natural nail. That pink is a little bit of a jelly to let all of the gold flakes shine through. However, it's not an issue. It goes on super smooth. They're really easy. These also do dry down fairly quickly, so it's not one that you're going to have to wait around to dry before you can go in for that second coat. So 2 coats, it does deepen that finish. It makes it almost completely opaque. Again, I do have a really strong visible nail line, so I am going to opt to go in for a third coat for this one. But if you have shorter nails or don't have that issue, you may be able to get away with 2 coats for LEILANI. However, here is a look at that third and final coat for me. I think this is just magic. Like, that third coat perfects it. So here is a look at that completed mani at 3 coats before a glossy top coat underneath my artificial ring lighting. This one dries down really glossy as well. I think it would be awesome with a matte top coat too. So this is my final swatch photo of LEILANI. So next up is one of my absolute favorites. This is Sally or Kelly. I'm going to go ahead and say it's Kelly. And this is a very bright red with that same gold microflake running throughout. Super gorgeous. If you have Zoya's Aphrodite in your collection and you love that one, I believe Aphrodite has more of an iridescent flaky. You are going to love Kelly. So here's a look at that first easy swatch. It is pulling a little bit more pink here on camera than it is in person. It is definitely a true red with very few pink undertones. Again, 2 to 3 coats depending on your application method. I am going to stop on this one at just 2 coats. So here is a look at that completed mani at just 2 coats before a glossy top coat underneath my artificial lighting. This is a perfect Christmas color. And then this is my final swatch photo at an angle under that same lighting. Next up is Greta, and she is a true classic red, super beautiful cream. If you have Zoya's America in your collection, you may not need this one. I feel like America is maybe a little bit more orange based, and Greta is a little bit more blue based, which is my preference in a red polish. I'm going to go ahead and show you how it's swatched today for me on my natural nail. So there's that first easy coat. This one again is kind of flashing my camera out a little bit, but it is a very true classy red. It is completely opaque in 1 to 2 coats depending on application method, and I cannot get enough of it. So I'm going to go ahead and complete this coat and then show you what that completed mani looks like at just 2 coats before a glossy top coat underneath my artificial lighting. This view is a little bit more color accurate as well as my final swatch photo. So here is a look at that underneath my artificial ring lighting. Again, this is Greta. So the last portion of this section of Splash is a topper, and this is Eclipse, and this has gorgeous iridescent as well as silver flakies in there in a clear base. I'm going to go ahead and show you what this looks like swatched over black today. So this is Zoya's Raven, I believe. So here is just one coat of Eclipse over that. This is super witchy, like very on point for this season, and you do get all those wonderful flashes of color on a black base. This is my preferred way of wearing it. One coat is amazing coverage. I don't think that this is one that you're going to get completely opaque on its own. However, it does look amazing over an undie. So here is a look at that completed mani. I just one coat over black before a glossy top coat. So not a lot of texture going on in this one either for those that are a little bit more adverse to that. So next up, we're going to start with the second portion of Splash, and we're going to start it off with KRISTIE. KRISTIE is a very bright fuchsia pink, a little bit of purple notes in there. I'm going to go ahead and show you what this looks like swatched on my natural nail. Again, my lighting is like crazy bright right here, so this is not completely color accurate, but I am going to show you how it's swatched. So there's a look at that first easy coat. Very true to Zoya cream formula. It's going to be a 1 to 2 coater depending on your application method. This is almost like a super intense Barbie pink. So here's a look at that quick. A second coat, I did do a second just to even it out and get it a little bit closer to that sidewall there. 2 coats is going to make for full opacity. So here is a look at that completed mani, and again a little bit more color accurate right here before a glossy top coat underneath my artificial lighting. This is one, again, I'll wear all year round, especially if I'm feeling like a little pick-me-up. This is going to do it for me. So this is my final swatch photo at an angle underneath that artificial ring lighting. So next up, we're going to move into, I believe, the only purple tone of this collection, and this is Jessica. So this is my namesake. Honestly, purple is not my favorite, so I'm a little bit disappointed in this polish being my namesake. I know there was another Jessica with a K, but I don't believe that they make that one anymore either. So here's a look at how Jessica swatched today for me on my natural nail. This is like a true grape purple. It was a little bit streaky for me as well, so I am going to go ahead and complete that up with a quick second coat. 2 coats evens out any flaws that it has, and again, it does dry down to that gorgeous glossy Zoya cream finish. So here is a look at that completed mani at just 2 coats before a glossy top coat underneath artificial lighting. I don't hate it. It's beautiful. It's a nice purple cream. And then this is my final swatch photo at an angle underneath that artificial ring lighting. So next up we have Marin, and she is a beautiful bright blue, gorgeous tones in there. It's a little bit brighter than a navy, so not maybe a true neutral, but gorgeous for summertime especially. So here's a look at that first easy coat. Again, this one is a little bit lighter. I definitely do feel like you're going to need 2 coats for this one. So I'm going to go ahead, complete this first coat, let it dry down, and then show you how it built up for me with a quick second coat. 2 coats is going to deepen that finish and bring it to a full opacity. I did go in a little bit thicker here. I had some drippage down the stem, and I kind of just like made it work. But these dry down so quickly, that's not really an issue. So here is a look at that completed mani at just 2 coats before a glossy top coat underneath artificial lighting. I love what this is doing for my skin as well. Definitely going to be one of my favorites all year long. So here is a look at that final swatch underneath my artificial ring lighting. Next up, we're going to move to another one of my favorites. This is Harbor, and this is a beautiful seafoam green. It is showing up a little bit brighter here on camera than it is in person. It's not quite this neon. It has a little bit more of those deeper green tones, but this is going to be one that you can get completely opaque in 1 to 2 coats. I did have some streakiness here, so I'm going to go ahead and complete this first coat, let it dry down, and then show you how it built up for me with a quick second coat. So here is a look at that. 2 coats for sure does bring this one to a full coverage. Again, gorgeous glossy finish that you don't have to worry about. I didn't have any staining on my nails with any of these either, but I did swatch all the colors today with a base coat. The Cutica Strengthening Base Coat is my top favorite of all time. So here's a look at that completed mani at 2 coats before a glossy top coat underneath that artificial ring of lighting, and then my final swatch photo at an angle underneath that same lighting. So next we're going to move into the 2 shimmers of the collection, and these I feel like are truly spring polishes. So the first one up is Fisher, and this is a very, very light baby blue with some of that gold microfleck running throughout. Here's a look at that first easy coat. This one is fairly sheer. If you wanted to wear it just as a sheer finish to give yourself like a really clean, sparkly look, I think this would be a great polish for that. I am going to go ahead and try to build it up to full coverage for you, so I'm going to let that dry and then show you how it built up with a quick second coat. 2 coats does deepen the finish and adds more of that gold microfleck. However, it's not completely opaque for me at that too. So I am going to complete this coat, let it dry down, and then show you how it built up for me with a third and a final coat of Fisher. So 3 coats is going to get us pretty much there. I think at certain angles I do have a little flash of visible nail line, but again, I do have very strong visible nail line marks. So if your nails are shorter or not as harsh, you won't have to worry about that at all. So here's a look at that completed mani at 3 coats before glossy top coat underneath artificial lighting. Very like Cinderella this one is. And then this is my final swatch photo at an angle under that same artificial lighting. So finishing out the Splash collection today, I have the pink shimmer polish, and this is Corinna, and she's a very, very light pale pink. Again, if you wanted to use this one as just a flush of color on the nail with a little bit of sparkle, this would be a great option. At just 1 coat, I am going to go ahead and try to build this up to full coverage for you. So 2 coats, again, is going to deepen that finish and add more of that gold micro fleck. However, it's not completely opaque, so I'm going to go complete this coat, let it dry down completely, and then show you what it looks like with a third and a final coat for today. And 3 coats is basically full coverage. You do get a little flash of visible nail line, but that's due to that jelly finish in here that's really going to show off all that gold micro flex. So here is a look at that completed mani. I'm loving how classy this looks with like a little pop of something special. So this is my final swatch photo of Corinna underneath artificial ring lighting. And that does wrap up my swatch and review of the Splash 2020 collection. I apologize profusely for not pushing these out sooner. Like, I know life's been crazy for everyone, but I'm feeling it super duper here, like with back-to-back hurricanes and going back to school and all of that jazz. But I promise you that I will have the winter 2020 collection up as soon as I get it in. So thanks so much for watching, guys. If you'd like to see more, you can also follow me on Instagram at Sloppy Swatches. So thanks so much for watching, guys. See you next time.